This is the Astrology and Tarot Show with Jessica Adams.
Thanks, Shane. This is the psychic take on your horoscope for the week starting May 19. But first, a true prediction from 2020, 5 years ago. You read on the 23rd of July, 2020, the old globalization economy based on America, China is gone. Your tarot this week is Aries, the Ace of Cups, Taurus, the Nine of Pentacles, Gemini, the Moon, Cancer, the Three of Wands, Leo, the Four of Cups, Virgo, the Hermit, Libra, the Seven of Swords, Scorpio, the Star, Sagittarius, the Ace of Wands, Capricorn, the High Priestess, Aquarius, Death, which never means death, it's just transition, and Pisces, the Four of Swords. Aries, this is a time of tremendous new potential within the family or where your household, your hometown, your apartment, house or country is concerned, and it starts in June. This week is preparation time. This approaching Jupiter in Cancer cycle owes a lot to the last one 12 years ago. So if you look at your email going back 12 years, you'll see similar sorts of trends happening then, whether you were, for example, renovating, moving, or sorting out the household. If you're using astrology delivery for a new house or apartment or home improvements, then listen at the end of the podcast for the dates. These dates will turn things around for you anyway, though, and the very first one is June 9, quickly followed by June 10. This week is about preparing the ground. So, for example, if there is a discount offer on a new kitchen or a house sitting offer from a friend, follow up. Use this week to prepare the ground, as when Jupiter is there with the sun from late June to late July, it is time to plant and grow the future, not just with your house or apartment, but also in terms of your town or country. The key period for the big kickoff is from June to July, but there will still be a lot of opportunities around you as late as June next year, 2026. This is for those of you with really big ambitions, so you may want to emigrate, for example, or build your own house. Let's dig down into the fourth house of your solar chart, ruled by Cancer, to look at all the options. If you do have anything in Cancer in your birth chart, then you can double this message because Jupiter will form a conjunction with your Cancer factors in the fourth house. So this is personal for you. And in fact, what was happening when you were 12 years old has a bit of a bearing on what happens now. However your chart looks, this week is about understanding the relationship that you have with your own family tree, your ancestors, your history, your culture, and your heritage. This is going to be a big growth area for you starting in just a few weeks. In fact, you may already be seeing certain signs that you are right to go back to where you come from. This may be your parents or your grandparents on either side of the family, or you may have a strong connection to the place where you're living now. Typical examples of outcomes of this are a movement or an organisation tied to the place that you come from or belong to that you get swept up in. But you may also find that you are able to get a much stronger sense of belonging thanks to changes within the family tree. Some people actually start their family tree on this cycle, and it helps them find the world to be a bigger and better place. However, it's affecting you, and maybe you just want to buy your first apartment. This week is prep time. Taurus, the simple business of being heard and read looks full of potential thanks to this new cycle in your sector of internet and media. With Jupiter in Cancer, it also rules education and publishing. This is the first half of June for kickoff, with more in July, and this week is prep time. It's a little bit like having a rehearsal or a discussion before you get to the game. For some of you, this is a book deal, a podcast, qualifications, acceptance into a prestigious course, a new website, and so on. If the fundamentals of communication, like hearing, speech, eyesight, or language, are a big issue for you, then this can easily be sorted out on this famous Jupiter in Cancer transit, which can only happen every 12 years. At the moment, You will also find, if you have anything in Gemini in your birth chart, that the message is doubled in importance. And if you are a Gemini kind of Taurus, then there is a revolution ready to begin for you with the internet, which starts in July. It will change your life, and by 2026, you will become far more independent in terms of the media, traditional media or legacy media, social media, or artificial intelligence. As you go through this week, you will see plenty of signs and clues about what is possible beginning in just a few weeks. If you're using the technique called astrology delivery to get some or all of what you want, I will have the dates for that for you at the end of this podcast. So if you need a new car, maybe a hybrid or electric car, that's possible. If you need a very cutting edge internet part to call your own, that's possible. As a child, you had this cycle aged around 12, which would have been about your bicycle or the local bus. Maybe the family got a bigger and better car for you. Maybe you did well in English or speech and drama around age 12 or languages. It's that kind of cycle, but now you are updating for yourself as an adult and bigger things are possible. Finally, a brother, sister, or cousin is the gateway to something that is overdue for improvement or ready to take off. Gemini. This new June cycle for you, which begins Jupiter in Cancer in your money zone, covering finance, business, and property, is welcome. You have just come out of one of the most intense long-term financial cycles of your life, which began in the year 2008 and didn't truly stop until November last year. So you have earned what you are about to receive, Gemini. For lots of you, this will be a pay rise or an increase in the value of your house. In other cases, currency exchange rates will benefit you, or there will be a big drop in interest rates so that you are borrowing more cheaply. There may be government decisions which help you on a tax level. And before we go into a long list of what's possible, let me just say that you'll have your own preferences. And if you listen to the dates at the end of this podcast, you can try astrology delivery to save or make money in a way that is personal to you. So far this year, it has all been about rehearsing and reversing because Mars was going backwards or retrograde once again in your cash zone. So you have not been in a position to do anything that's been fixed, final, or finished. However, this will change for you as that cycle is long gone, and you will see that from around June 9, you have tremendous potential for fixing an issue or taking full advantage of something very new. It may, for example, be collecting on insurance that you are owed, or you may be given a full-time contract if you were part-time before. All these solutions and opportunities are more important if you have anything in Taurus in your birth chart. If you do have Taurus factors, then you will find that July is the month when at last life settles down. You have been in the most unpredictable cycle of your life since the year 2018, if you do have Taurus factors, and it stops in July. So the timing is pretty close to what's happening in your solar chart as well. Finally, remember back to the age of 12, because between 11 and 13 years of age, on some level you gained. It may have been pocket money, it may have been an inheritance, maybe your parents did better in life and you gained new possessions. Whatever it was, an echo of this is coming from the past into the future, and this week is preparation time. Cancer, your appearance, reputation, name, profile, and public face is far more important this week. And even though you had so much that didn't resolve this year, you are finally getting to relaunch stage, which will stick, and the biggest and best is yet to come. Jupiter in Cancer is coming, and from around June 9, you are clearing the decks for a new you, or a new version of the old person, with results by June 2026 that you can be very happy with. The Sun in Cancer near your birthday, which is fast approaching, and certainly Jupiter in Cancer alongside it, means that everybody will be looking your way and you'll be more in the spotlight than usual, to your total advantage. If you have factors in Aries in your birth chart, then 2025 and 2026 are relaunches that will last, in some ways erasing the person that you were or profoundly altering him or her in the eyes of the public. So if you do have Aries factors, this is more than just a new look or a new job title or letters after your name. It's quite profound, and you will see why as the year goes on. In all cases, this week is preparation time for a different version of yourself. And if you have any issues about your reputation, appearance, name, or brand, they can easily be resolved, as Jupiter is the problem solver of astrology. Jupiter is also about expansion and growth, and something that begins in a very small way this week could snowball into something you really want in your life by the time you get to July. All of this happens around your birthday, and it looks like being quite an important birthday this year too. Leo, this week is preparation for June and July because you are about to go within and, in many ways, shut the door on the world in a way that benefits you. Jupiter is moving into Cancer and your 12th house of solitude, which is where you gain from being alone. So you may be focused on religion, psychics, mediumship, therapy, counseling, hypnosis, or meditation, for example. You will operate below the radar because you want to, starting in a very small way this week, but gathering speed once you get to June and July. So, for example, you may be hypnotized to give up smoking, get therapy that fixes a phobia, or find a new avenue involving the spirit. You will see signs this week, no matter if you are getting rid of psychic attack or just learning more about your subconscious mind through the work of Jung. Leo, if you have Pisces factors in your birth chart, you can double this message about the inner self. This is because Neptune has gone from Pisces and Saturn will go in the last week of May. So it's the same thing, but it's more personal. If you do have Pisces birth chart factors, then you are now entering a major period when being alone helps you more than you know. In all cases, Leo, the benefits of Jupiter in Cancer always go unseen. However, they are felt on the inside, and that's where you're headed this week, no matter if you've been talking to a priest or a therapist. Virgo, June 2025, which is days away now, will help you to sort out the group and your friendship. This week is preparation time. This may be a team, a club, an association, or a less formal circle of people. You are slowly approaching a terrific period of togetherness, solidarity, and community in diversity. The World Cup for 2026 has kicked off, and a lot of Virgo people will be involved in that. However you're framed socially, it's important that you all understand people power has to work as a shared principle, or the new setup won't give you the rewards that you deserve. There are potentially massive benefits from the band, the team, or the club by June 2026, and this week is about the small start. If you have Aquarius factors in your chart, the next 12 months will change your life. Your friend and the group will transform your existence. You will find that it's easy to become a bigger part of an extremely powerful network, all very different people, and find that you could do more together than you ever could alone. It helps if you all share a common goal, and activism is extremely successful on this cycle. In all cases, Jupiter in Cancer in the 11th house needs to be used, and you'll be making tracks in that direction this week. Friends in high places are a common outcome, and over the next 12 months, you could find that people who are well known, high profile, or even famous come into your social circle. You should definitely approach people, even if you think they are above you on some level, because this is the cycle socially when a bit of a gamble can pay off. And these solutions that you see with friends and groups this week could also help you get off the hook if you have had problems with, for example, a club, a charity, or a society. Jupiter is all about fixing things or making them bigger and better. They call him best and greatest, Optimus Maximus, and he is about to land in your chart with plenty of signs this week. Libra, Your career, your course, or your unpaid work has been affected by a go slow, a stop start, rehearsal, and reversal with Mars going retrograde. But that is now over, and you are on your way to a far more successful 12 months with a high percentage of Libran people having a big hit in store, a promotion, or a prestigious new job or course, an outstanding result academically, or something that you consider to be a personal peak achievement. You have to start small on this cycle because Jupiter is about the acorn that becomes the oak. And this week is about preparing the ground for the acorn. The acorn will go in around June 9-10, and from there, it's up to you to nurture what is growing. However, you are right to be optimistic because you can already see how things might be better and bigger for you. A new contract could be in your hand by July, or a promotion. The other thing about this transit is that it can sometimes point to July as the date for a party, for example, or an interview, and you will know even now this week that you are being put on the right path. The 10th house of your chart is where all of this is happening, and the 10th house in astrology is ruled by Capricorn, the mountain goat, and it is associated with the peak of the mountain. So it suits any organization or structure which is hierarchical, so it has many levels going up to the top, which may be for you a big corporation or an institution like a university. It's also very much about high society. So things are moving in the right direction for you now, Libra, and astrology delivery could work very nicely for you. I'll have the dates on that at the end of the podcast. Scorpio, you have been going backwards and forwards with your travel, foreign, internet, university, publishing, or educational agenda. Nothing has come together as it should, as you have been stuck with Mars retrograde this year. However, that is now well and truly over, and the new opportunities and solutions will change everything from around June 9 and 10. This week is about preparing. So it doesn't matter if you want to travel more ambitiously, export, emigrate, go further with the internet, explore your options at university or college, or find new avenues with the book world. Everything is now pointing to bigger and better possibilities. For some of you, this is foreign language classes. In other cases, it's foreign people in your own town or country. The international side of the internet or publishing. So you could stand to gain from the Arab world if you are English, or the Canadians if you're American. It's on that level. This week is understanding that nothing comes from nothing, and what you're going to be asked to do is to prepare the ground. So to make sure that when things do take off from June, that you are in a position to really grow them, and by July, just start reaping the benefits. In actual fact, the biggest outcomes won't be in hand until June next year, but you have a clear 12 months, no matter if you wanted to move abroad, study with a foreign professor, welcome international students, and so on. For some of you, there is a more intensely personal outcome that you want in terms of other countries and nationalities, and for that, you may want to use the tarot on my website. Digging into the meaning of the 9th house of your chart is useful. And in astrology, this goes back hundreds of years to sea voyages. So back in the day, it was about Christopher Columbus, and it was about exploring the new world, like Captain Cook. These days, it's far more likely to be about the World Wide Web, and you'll see why this week. Sagittarius. Financial, property, or business opportunities, which can only happen every 12 years, are showing up in your life. And near June 9 and 10, when your ruler Jupiter moves to Cancer, so much more is possible. This is Jupiter in Cancer in your 8th house, which rules matters of a joint financial nature. So typically, a marriage or mortgage, your inheritance to younger people, or your parents' inheritance to you. It's on that level. You can use this week to go over what you really want, as on the 25th of June, the new moon in Cancer, together with Jupiter, talks about a very big new chapter for you. So, for example, you may put your house on the market, or you may find that investments become your priority. If you have anything in Taurus in your birth chart, then this is personal. You will find that life becomes finally predictable with your money or property from July. You have the end of Uranus in Taurus coming in July, and an extremely unpredictable, erratic, and uncontrollable existence financially will also stop that month. What will come back in for you is certainty. In all cases, Jupiter in Cancer in your 8th house this week shows up as big clues about interest rates, for example, the chance of a different rental arrangement, a de facto partnership and a lease, a parent and a legacy, or the whole family and a will. You may begin to see signs this week, as I've mentioned, but it won't really be until June and July that you appreciate why this week was so useful in terms of clearing the decks and clearing the way for something or someone so much bigger and better. Capricorn. The question this week is about where you gain. Is it really from your former, current, or potential partner, or is it from your enemy or your rival? This is a really unusual cycle. Jupiter in Cancer, your opposite sign, when you benefit from being in a duet or a double act, a pair or a partnership, but you also gain if you have an opponent. For example, you may have a weak opponent on this cycle and find that he or she benefits you. At the same time, you stand to gain from a professional partnership as well as a personal partnership. Needless to say, if you're single and looking, this is the luckiest cycle in 12 years to find your other half. This week, as I've mentioned to the other signs, is preparation time, and that applies to you as well. So the next 7 days is really about clearing the decks and making way for something new to begin or for someone new to come in. This is the time when people get married or move in together, and it's a 12-month cycle that takes you to June 2026, so you have plenty of time. It's also the cycle when couples who have been on the rocks can patch up their marriage or relationship, or even reach an amicable split. That can happen too. Jupiter in Cancer in your 7th house is associated with thunderbolts, and you may hear the distant rumble of thunder this week. If the sky seems loaded, it probably is. And around June 9, when the cycle begins, you could meet your future partner or get together with somebody who's on your radar this week. Partnerships on this transit are not always personal and not always romantic. Sometimes they're just purely professional or platonic, but in any case, 2 is your magic number. Aquarius. You can't separate your work and your voluntary work and your housework from your health in astrology. One is tied to the other, and you are about to see turning points, solutions, and big opportunities that add up to lifestyle with a capital L. It all begins around June 9, but this week is about getting ready for that and saying yes to obvious opportunities. So, for example, there may be a new doctor in town, or somebody may be talking to you about job sharing or a reshuffle at work. There may be changes coming in thanks to the government or the council, which affect your life as a carer. However you're ready for it, this week is a nod to the future, and you are about to enter the biggest and best cycle for lifestyle in 12 years. It may be about losing weight for some of you, or about your basic fitness. It may be about using AI or artificial intelligence to make your life easier. At the moment, you are seeing sure signs of something bigger and better coming. If you have Virgo factors in your birth chart, you can double this message. Virgo also rules lifestyle for you. So if you are a Virgo kind of Aquarius, then life 18 or 19 years ago will play its part in what is about to happen, as you are owed a reward from that time and it will be repaid to you. So, for example, you may get a better job or find that your health turns around. The 6th house of your chart is very much about everything tied up together: study, work, education, but also health and fitness as a whole. And if you think back to when you were 12 years old, you had this cycle then. Maybe that was the year that you went to a better school or got into a better class. Life between 11 and 13 years of age is coming back to you in a small way thematically this week. Pisces. The focus this week is on new possibilities regarding children, godchildren, or young relatives, or a young audience or market. Pisces, this may be about a close relationship for you, or it may be about your adult son. It may be about a new baby on the way, but it won't be until the second half of June that you have the full story. This week will show you bits and pieces of what is possible, and it's worth taking seriously as a new arrangement with or for your children or other people's children, even millennials, could be in place by August if you take who and what is on offer in June and July. This week is about understanding that the future is forming in your favour and being open to that. Jupiter is the lucky planet. He was born lucky, and he is often a stroke of luck for people even when they have given up hope. So here he comes into the zodiac sign of Cancer, which augurs extremely well for you if you are hoping to adopt or you are pursuing IVF. In other cases, you need to sort out issues with your children or a blended family, and Jupiter is here to help. As you prepare the ground this week, understand that the dates are going to work in your favour from as early as June 8 and 9, right up until August. Astrology delivery is a good way of focused goal setting if you want to try it, and if you're single and want a new partner, it's definitely worth trying. I'll finish the podcast by talking about astrology delivery. If you want to see what it's all about, please go to my website, jessicaadams.com. I've gathered together 20 of the best testimonials that people have sent in, and they're pretty extraordinary. Lots of you listening to this will already have tried it. If you are new to astrology delivery, though, it's all explained at my website. These are the dates to book ahead, and if you listen out for your sign, you will hear a list of what's possible for you. That is your booking window. So you need to book on June 9, 10, 22, 25, and then August 1 for final delivery by August 25. For Leo, it's religion, counselling, tarot, mediumship, self-help, hypnosis, dreams, and spirituality. Virgo, friends, societies, associations, bands, groups, charities, and Substack. For Libra, success, ambition, position, mission, career, academia, and unpaid work. Scorpio, foreigners and foreign countries, the World Wide Web, publishing, and academia. Sagittarius, finance, property, business, charity, valuables, inheritance, and banking. Capricorn, marriage, engagement, separation, divorce, professional partnership. Aquarius, lifestyle, health, mental health, unpaid work, career, and academia. Pisces, courtship, the bedroom, babies, infants and school children, younger adults. Aries, houses, apartments, households, families, hometown and homeland. Taurus, brothers and sisters, cousins, the media, the internet, and short journeys. Gemini, finance, charity, business, property, valuables and shares. And Cancer, image, profile, brand, reputation, appearance, and title. I hope you enjoy your new Jupiter cycle. I'll have more to say about it near June 9, but for now, thanks for listening.